Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Conrad, for taking the time to chat today.
Sure. I like your background. I mean, I want to look at every single one of those tchotchkes on the shelf back there.
I have way too many. Thank you. I'm such a collector. I actually have a couple Addams Family things back there too.
Sure you do.
Yeah, so my daughters love the first movie. Very excited to share this one with them. They haven't gotten to watch the screener just yet, but they're eagerly awaiting it. I want to know what it was like for you to dive back into this world of the Addams Family.
It was great. I'm really happy I did. The first movie was fun to make because I got to actually spend, my days, creating for these characters. And, but it was territory that I'd been over many, many times because I've been such an Addams fan over the years. What's nice about jumping back into a new one is you can take them beyond that now. And you can actually, anything that we created in the first one, which is now Addams, officially Addams lore, we can actually build upon that and do brand new things with them and go deeper into their characters.
Yeah, definitely. What was it like you got the majority of the voice cast back. I think there's only a couple of changes there. So what was it like working with all those actors again?
It was great. I mean, it is like one of the easiest and most pleasant, wonderful casts I've ever worked with. Everyone really loved the project. Everyone really loved doing, the sessions, and they have kids, so they were thrilled to be able to watch this with their kids and have it be something that entertains adults as well as children. So it's a full family movie. So I was thrilled when they all came back and I got to work with them again. It was unfortunate that we could only do it over Zoom, and I didn't get to see any of them in person, because that's really what I loved about working with them on the first one, is we could, hang out. And I think it's just the personal touch is so much better than doing this on Zoom, which is just kind of strange, but it was great working with them again.
So because of the pandemic, is that why it was all on Zoom?
Yeah, they did it from their homes, and the patience that they all had for this was really extraordinary. It was really nice. I mean, I can't count the number of times that a gardener turned on a leaf blower in the background when we were trying to record, and I think Chloe actually had to run downstairs and ask them to turn it off for about half an hour while we recorded, and they were cool. They said, of course, no problem. But it was just like, ugh, and then like a truck goes by and a plane, it was tough, but we got through it.
Yeah, definitely some challenges. It's been a year and a half. Let's just put it that way. It has been a lot of challenges. So
every day we are closer to the end. That's the way.
Yes. That's a great way to look at it. So, but speaking of challenges, the Addams Family, I think it feels like the original Addams Family is more still for kids, but not kids as young as these Addams Families, I think, are. So what were the challenges kind of making it more for children and for families as well?
Well, I always approach these with the eye towards making it just a good, funny movie. I think, and not only think, but it's been proven to me many times that the minute an adult starts to say, well, here's what a kid thinks, and here's what a kid is going to understand, and here's what a kid's not going to understand. The minute you start doing that, they can clock that, and they throw up their hands and they say, see you later. This is for little babies, and I'm not a little baby, And so I try to make myself laugh. I try to put something on the screen that I think is fun and that I think is funny and cool and crazy and set piece, action, something I'd like to see. And, and then you just kind of balance it from there. There's certain things that, parents don't want their kids to see, so we don't put that in the movie, but there are certain winks and nods that we can give to parents. And, quite honestly, I don't shy away from that, because the majority of parents love when they take their kids to see a movie and there's something in there for them as well. And when the parent laughs at something that the kid doesn't understand, first thing they do is, why is that funny, Mom? What was that about? You know what I mean? And it creates conversation, which is why you take your kids to the movie in the first place. It's not so you can be away from them. It's not so you can have a singular experience. You want to talk about it on the way home. So give them something to talk about, I say.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I've been in that position many a times. I do love when I can giggle at something and the kids are like, what? I have no idea what that was. And I'm like, it's really good. We'll talk about it later. So,
Yeah.
so I appreciate that. I really do. I love when it is a movie that my kids enjoy, but like my husband and I have a blast watching as well, which is very rare,
Yeah,
I hate and a
it doesn't
10-year-old.
have to be that rare, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
I try to do it in every one of my movies. So
I was looking at IMDb and you weren't credited as a writer for this second one. Is that just a mistake or did you just solely direct this one?
I didn't write as much. I mean, with these movies, there's a lot of writing that goes on from all angles, but the strict writing task was done by our writers. And I'll give them all the credit for this one because, at the beginning, I'll admit when they said Wednesday doesn't think she's an Addams, I was like, who's going to buy that? I mean, I was just like, look at Wednesday Addams. She's obviously an Addams, but I trusted them and I knew they were going to do a great job with it. And they did. They did a fantastic job with it, brought it off beautifully. And I found that even if you don't buy that she's an Addams, she's not an Addams, she thinks that she might not be an Addams. And the way that affects Morticia and Gomez is very heart-wrenching. So it actually turned out to, it turned out to be a great story, and I'm glad we went with it. So I hand all the credit for the writing on this one to them. I mean, in all these I write jokes and I write lines and I do little things, but that's just part of my directing job.
So one of the things I love about this is it's this crazy family road trip, which I've done with my family, and there's always a story. So I want to know if you've ever had a funny family road trip or vacation moment.
Oh yeah, plenty. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have the money to fly anywhere. So we always went to see my grandparents. Both sets of grandparents lived in West Texas and we lived in Washington State. So my dad would chuck us into the station wagon and we would leave at 4:00 in the morning. And I do remember waking up because my dad in the station wagon, my mom and dad would put blankets and pillows and sleeping bags down in the back, and we brought whatever toys we wanted. And we were so wiped out at 4:00 in the morning, they just chucked us in the back and we fell back asleep. I remember waking up and just seeing the sunrise, and we were in this completely different place, and it was like really cool. And we would crawl into the back seat, and my mom would hand us like hot chocolate or something, and we'd eat and everything. And then about, I'd say 3 or 4 days into it, the nerves started to fry on everybody. And I remember one time stopping at a gas station, and because the whole back of the station wagon was full of blankets and pillows and sleeping bags and everything, I thought my brother was there. And we started pulling away and we heard this screaming, and we looked in the back and my brother was, wait for me. Pulled out of the gas station without him. And
no.
it was like, whoa. So luckily we stopped. I said, Shane's back there, stop.
Well, that's a great story. I love that. Glad you didn't go off without him. That's good. But thank you so much for taking the time today. That's my time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.